What's up, guys? Team No Worries here again. It's been a while since I made a video. Been sick and doing school stuff. So, yeah. I just wanted to talk to y'all today about getting better as a player. My friend struggles. I have friends who struggle really hard with how they can get better. It's pretty much just playing. Like, there's no better way to describe it is playing, reading articles, just gaining knowledge and experience. Because you're not going to get better by, not playing. You're not going to get better by not gaining knowledge, because that's obviously, you don't just get better overnight. By just going to sleep, or going up to your locals and wanting to be the best player there. Doesn't just happen. It might, but if it does, then something's wrong with your locals. But yeah, the first thing is just getting good at locals. You want to be the best player at your locals. And that's pretty much what you're gearing towards, is just at the beginning that should be your start goal. Is to be the best player at your locals. Be in the top 4 players, 5 players at least, in your locals. And then from there, you pretty much just, if you want to move on to regionals, other people's locals, that's pretty much where I'm in the phase of, is I'm trying to get to where I'm good enough to top every regionals I go to. Obviously, you're not going to top every regionals you go to, because things happen where some days it's not for you. It's not your day. You're not going to win. And things like that happen. Just don't let those discourage you either. Sometimes you're going to lose to worse players, and sometimes you're going to lose to better players. Sometimes you'll beat those better players. And the majority of the times you should beat those worse players. So that's just the focus on that. Is just focus on the majority of the time. If you're winning probably about, I'd say 80. Yeah, regionals is 9 rounds. So if you're winning 7 out of 9 rounds, the majority of the times you go to regionals, you're doing pretty well. If you win 8 out of 9, you're doing extremely well. And if you go undefeated on a good basis, then you're pretty much probably the top player in your region, in your area. Yeah. But just, it's consistently doing well is what does people, what's defining people who do well in this game. Like Adam Corrin has the most tops ever. He has 23, I believe. It's something ridiculously high. This year, I'd say the best player this year is Patrick Hoban. He has the most tops, I think. It's overall, or it's Dalton Bosman. He's done really well in tops. It's just really and none of that happened overnight. Obviously Pat and Dalton were great players, and have been great players, or good players for a while. And then they finally just moved themselves into upper echelon of players more in the last year or so, to being in the top 5, top 10 players in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, our top 10 players probably in the TCG. I wouldn't say the world. Japan's ridiculous. But yeah, they're probably the top 10, some of the top 10 players in TCG, including Europe. And they didn't just get that way overnight. I'm sure that they've spent hours of practice and practice and practice. And that's what the game is. You have to practice. If you want to get good at something, you practice. And it's not just practicing, going on Dueling Network. You have to learn from your mistakes and learn where you did things wrong and where you were too aggressive or you were too conservative, and just learning how to read things and how to read cards and how to read your opponent. Reading your opponent is the biggest thing. I promise, who is it? I base all my theories of how people are good off of watching them play, and people from around my area playing. And I can't remember his name. He topped 16 the ARG Circuit Series in Tennessee. His name's Alex. I can't remember his last name. He reads people better than anyone I've ever seen. He'll sit there and talk to his opponents, telling them what he thinks, telling them, reading him. He just reads really well, and I feel like that's one of the things that puts you a step ahead as a good player from an average player, or just, yeah. I think that reading your opponent is really the big key in that. And I feel like if you practice that and just reading their cards, I feel like you're going to be able to play yourself out of situations and learn, just reading your opponent and reading the cards is basically situational awareness. And if you're good at situational awareness, you'll be able to be good at this game, because you'll know how to get out of the situation. And if you have, I think it's called foresight, where you see ahead of it, yeah, or you see it coming, where they're trying to set it up and you have the outs to it and you can do stuff to stop that, that's better than obviously situational awareness. It's, I mean, I guess it's all involved in that, but they mainly just knowing when a situation's coming and how to get yourself out of it. That's really what's will put you above everyone else. So, as always, I like to move the thing because I'm sitting down and don't like to keep my arm still. Alright, well, that's pretty much it. It's just situational awareness, is learning how you're going to get better, and practicing. Practice against good players as well. I know that seems obvious. Like, obviously you don't want to go sit down at your locals and play the best guy 20 times and just get 2-0'd every single match. That's terrible. You're not going to learn anything from that. Sit there and ask him, or be like, think about where you played wrong. And I'm sure he's going to know when you played wrong, because when you play someone good, they usually know when you misplay, because they're reading you and they're playing. They just know how to play better than you do. They outplay you. So don't think of it like, just play good players, learn situational awareness, and yeah, just do that. Practice. Okay. Make sure you're playing on Dueling Network if you want to. I hate online testing. I hate online playing. I don't feel like it makes you better, because I can't sit there and read my opponent whenever I'm playing online, because I see more body language. I read off body language and stuff like that more than anything, so that's the easiest thing for me. But yeah, I'm going to probably give y'all a deck profile of my dragon deck I'm working on tomorrow. If I go up to wherever we play, I'll show you that deck. I have a new theory that I've been working on that I don't really want to release to the world yet, but I might. So, we'll see. But thank you guys. Continue watching, and please share this with people so they can subscribe. Alright, peace.